So this is all about local storage and season storage, storing data on the client side. So let's start in JavaScript. So welcome to JavaScript, guys. So the web storage API provide two mechanisms for storing data on the client side: local storage and season storage. Both of these provide a way to store key value pair locally in the user browser. Let's explore each of them, explanation, syntax, and example wise. So local storage explanation: local storage store data with no expiration time. The data will persist even when the browser is closed and reopened. Syntax: to store an item in local storage dot set item key comma value. To retrieve an item from local storage, constant stored value is equal to local storage dot get item key. To remove an item from local storage dot remove item key. This is the syntax. Example: local storage dot set item username comma John Doe, constant stored username is equal to local storage dot get item username, console dot log stored username, local storage dot remove item username. Here's a breakdown of each part of the code. Storing data: local storage dot set item username comma John Doe. This line uses the set item method of the local storage object to store the value of John Doe with the key username. This key value pair will be stored in the browser local storage. Retrieving data: constant stored username is equal to local storage dot get item username. This line uses the get item method to retrieve the value associated with the key username from the local storage. The retrieved value is then stored in the variable stored username. Logging the retrieved data: console.log stored username. This line logs the retrieved value to the console. In this example, it will output John Day to the console. Removing data: local storage dot remove item username. This line uses the remove item method to remove the key value pair associated with the key username from the local storage. After this line is used, if you were try to retrieve the value associated with the key username, it would return null because the key no longer exists in the local storage. It is important to note that the data stored in the local storage persists even after the browser is closed and reopened. The data is associated with the specific domain from which the web page is served. Keep in mind that manipulating the local storage should be done carefully, and sensitive information should not be stored in it for security reasons. Come, season storage. That is explanation. Season storage is similar to local storage, but the data is only available for the duration of the page season. Once the browser tab or window is closed, the data is cleared. The syntax for season storage is similar to local storage. Season storage dot set item key comma value. Constant stored value is equal to season storage dot get item key. Season storage dot remove item key. Example: season storage set item language comma JavaScript. Constant stored language is equal to season storage dot get item language. Console dot log stored language. Season storage dot remove item language. Here is a breakdown of each part of the code. Storing data: season storage dot set item language comma JavaScript, right? So this line uses the set item method of the season storage object to store the value JavaScript with the key language. This key value pair will be stored in the browser season storage and will be available for the duration of the page season. Retrieving data: constant stored language is equal to season storage dot get item language. This line uses the get item method to retrieve the value associated with the key language from the season storage. The retrieved value is then stored in the variable stored language. Logging the retrieved data: console.log stored language. This line logs the retrieved value to the console. In this example, it will output JavaScript to the console. Removing data: season storage dot remove item language. This line uses the remove item method to remove the key value pair associated with the key language from the season storage. After this line is queued, if you were to try to retrieve the value associated with the key language, it would return null because the key no longer exists in this season storage. As mentioned earlier, data stored in the season storage is temporarily and specific to the current season. Once the user closes the browser tab or window, the data is cleared. This makes season storage suitable for scenario where you need to store temporary data that should only be available for the current page season. More information. Storage limitation. Both local storage and season storage have a storage limit, usually around 5 to 10 MB per domain. Data format. Both local storage and season storage store data as a string. If you need to store non-string data, example object, you will need to serialize and deserialize using JSON.stringify and JSON.parse. Const user is equal to name dot john dot comma age 25. Local storage dot set item user comma JSON dot stringify user. Const store user is equal to JSON dot parse. Local storage dot get item user. Browser compatibility. Local storage and season storage are supported in a modern browser. Always check browser and compatibility for older browser. Security consideration. Be cautious about storing sensitive information on the client side, as it is accessible to anyone who has access to the user device. Use case, use local storage for data that need to persist across season, and use season storage for data that is only needed for the duration of page season. Web storage provides a convenient way to store a small amount of data on the client side, improving the user experience by reducing the need to repeatedly fetch data from the server. It is commonly used for storing user preference, season information, and client side data. So guys, this is all about local storage and season storage, storing data on the client side. Let's meet another